with it.
Oh, buddy.
I clicked the start streaming button and we're streaming. Oh my gosh, we're
We're,
live.
we're live.
Oh, yes. Hello to all the early birds. We have Cohen, Alexandra, McGuire, and Anna in here already. Dang, you guys are early. Thank you so much for joining us. Man, I feel like it's been a while since I did a workshop. I mean, taking a week off is a long time. But yeah, I'm still waiting for that 10 o'clock so we can get started. But while we do, Jeff, how's your weekend? That was a long weekend.
It was a good weekend. Very long. I have a friend staying with me, so we've been exploring the city, eating. It's been great.
Ah, okay. So that's why you couldn't play Rocket League for that 1 hour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thanks.
God, that game is so addicting.
And if Vlad is listening, I meant to say that I was working. I was working all weekend.
Yes, this is not recorded and broadcasted to all the subscribers of our YouTube channel. So don't worry. No one's gonna tell.
Perfect.
No one's gonna tell you. Oh, we got
Good call.
Michael, Bartosz. Yes, Bartosz is here, and Bob. Yes,
All right.
all the regulars. Thank you guys so much for coming back and joining us. Yeah, don't worry. We're still in the pre-show. 2 more minutes until I get to talking about all the good stuff about Webflow, and we got a lot of good stuff to talk about today. Um, and yeah, before and then introduce this guy who's on the stream. This I have to keep switching back and forth. I have to remember that to switch back and forth between you and me.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, and me. I have to be my own technical director at the same time.
We need an intern. Where's Rope?
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah. So yeah. So was it your friend's first time being in San Francisco, or?
It was, yeah. And I got to do some stuff that I hadn't done before, but it
I
was
the
just visit.
the thing I miss about that place is that everything is just a walking distance away. When I mean everything, I mean restaurants, basically. Mainly.
Mm.
I mean, you guys have a lot of different food there, and I love it. Like here, you have to drive at least 20 minutes
Right.
some way, and you have to plan out your day around it. Whereas you can just walk out your door and be like, I feel like this kind of food. All right, or it's right
Yeah.
there. And you got your Yelp and everything. It's like, oh, okay, 5 minutes away, I can do that.
It's quite nice. Yeah.
But what you guys don't have, but you can prove me wrong, carne asada fries.
I haven't had those, but they sound fantastic.
Oh, oh, man, it is the greatest 3 a.m. meal in the world. Yes, it's fries, carne asada, guacamole,
Mm.
cheese, and everything else that's bad for you. Oh man. All right. 10 o'clock. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another Webflow workshop. Thank you guys for coming. It's been a while. Yes, we've took a week off for a little company trip, and I wanted to stream from there, but man, the internets were slow. It was DSL from the cabin. It was 2 megs down and probably like zero point 0.5 or something up, and the ping was
Yeah,
like 200 something. I don't.
it was bad.
It was a rough week. I mean, it was tough when it comes
Yep.
to internet, but all the other fun stuff, yeah, and the team bonding that was really cool. But yeah, we're back, faster internets, and now we're streaming. So
Yes, we are.
today, our my guest is senior software engineer Jeff Peterson. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, he is working a lot of great stuff behind the scenes, and we're gonna just tell you about one of them later on in the show. That it's really cool to see this product just come to life and just evolve week after week. And Jeff is one of the people who are making it happen for you guys. So yeah, so Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background and, your journey into Webflow.
Sure. So I'm Jeff. So I freelanced through high school and college. I grew up in Michigan, and then I went to school there, Western Michigan University. And the whole time I was building websites, learning computer stuff, and eventually I ended up dropping out of college to work at an internship at Rdio, the music streaming company that recently went bankrupt.
Oh,
And then since then, that was maybe almost 3 years ago now, and I've been out here ever since.
okay. And then, how did you first learn about Webflow and then ultimately join the team?
Sure. So I learned about Webflow from a coworker at my last job, and that was almost 2 years, a year and a half ago. And I went to the website and I was like, nope, this isn't, I don't want to work on this. This is weird. It's impossible. I don't think it's going to work. And then I stayed at my job for a while. And then later I ended up stumbling across the website. I think it was on Hacker News or something.
Okay.
And I actually checked it out and played with it. And I'm like, this is so cool. And it just blew my mind. So I talked to my friend and I'm like, hey, do you still know Bryant from Webflow? And he's like, yeah, man. So then I met with Bryant. And we talked, and then he's like, we were talking about like the future of web and doing things visually. And he's like, dude, you have to come back to the office and see what we're working on. So they were actually working on Dynamo at the time, or our CMS at the time. And so I went back to the office, and it was instant. This is awesome. I have to work for this company. Yeah. And so and I did. Now I'm here.
Instant love right there.
Instant love.
Let's take a step back. Like when you first saw Webflow, you mentioned that no, this is not gonna work. This is not for me. Why am I even trying to use this? This is dumb. And I hear that a lot
Yeah.
from developers, and actually no, from both sides, from designers and developers who look at it at first, especially when it was in closed beta or when I first saw it. You know, I'll admit when I first saw the CSS playground, I was like, this is lame. This is just another trying to Dreamweaver it up, and they're never gonna figure it out, right? So,
Right.
what went through your mind when you first saw it?
When I first saw it, I thought the problem of building a website visually was too hard. I didn't think it was solvable. I didn't think they could have done it, and so I kind of thought it was a gimmick at first. And after I actually used it, I realized I was totally wrong. This was just exactly the way web development, web design should be. And not only that, it's how all programming should be. Just visual direct manipulation.
Yeah, yeah, and you see that a lot in other tools. I remember, oh gosh, I forgot the name of the tools. There's like Proteo, and then there's like Avocode or something like that. There's a lot of stuff that are actually doing that have been doing the same thing and trying to solve this problem of direct manipulation of code and abstracting code to make it easier for both sides, right? And so
Yeah.
it's just natural that these types of tools are coming up, but I guess it's all the past that's still haunting the present of I'll just say it, Dreamweaver just made me sad every time because this
Yeah.
code doesn't really work in X browser.
Right. Exactly. And it was all tables and like sliced up images. It was a mess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Wasn't responsive.
I feel you on there. And so we know that Webflow right now is mainly focused on helping designers. But you, as a developer, when you first played around with it, something went off. You're like, oh my God, this is the magic tool.
Yeah, exactly.
As a developer, how does it actually help?
Sure. So I think I want to talk about a misconception in programming, right? So when most developers, they refer to themselves as like a programmer, right? I'm a coder. And I think it's a misconception that programming or software development requires typing, requires code. So it's not that you're not developing, right? It's just that designers are being lifted up to this platform where they can now program things. So that's no different when you're a developer using it. And I think there's just several different ways that a developer can interact with Webflow, right? I think the first one is sort of there's a designer using Webflow,
Mm-hmm.
and the developer gets the code that's output and they have to implement it, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
a benefit right there because you don't have to write that code. You don't have to take a flat design file. You don't have to take a Photoshop document and write all that code by hand. It's already done. The designer did that work when they designed the site the first time. So you get a huge benefit there when you're working in that situation with a designer using Webflow, and I'm just shipping the code and putting it on a server somewhere. Then there's sort of another step where this is what we have at Webflow, where I no longer have to do any web development as a developer. And that's super beneficial. So in kind of a company context, that's fantastic. Nate comes to me and he's built this site himself and I don't have to do any work. And he's just like, look at all this cool stuff. And before I'd have this feeling in the back of my mind, like, oh man, that one, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. I won't tell him yet. I know he's got a great idea there for this animation. That looks hard.
And you don't want to.
It'll probably get cut.
You don't want to stop him from his creative flow, right?
Exactly.
Like, oh, you can't really do that in X browser, but you can on this one. But I don't really want to tell him yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's just that moment, that feeling. And instead, he comes to me and he shows me all this cool stuff. And I'm just like, wow, this is already done. Like, he just shipped it when he built the new Webflow homepage. When Nathan Romero built the new Webflow homepage, he showed me all the cool interactions and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is crazy. I wouldn't even know how to build this in code. This is just crazy complex. So that is another interesting use case for a developer where maybe you're not using it directly. And then the third option is you are using it directly, right? You're a developer and you're just empowering yourself with Webflow. And that one is probably the most interesting.
So as a developer, how would you use it directly? Developers don't usually have a designer's eye, doesn't have
Right.
really understand typography, white space, layout, and whatnot. And on the flip side, I don't understand most logic of code. And when you guys start talking about all these different JavaScript things, like I've heard of Batman JS and all this stuff, I'm like, what the hell's going on? And so how do you developers like get into the design side and use Webflow?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Within the Webflow community, there's a lot of material to go on, right? We have templates, we have the forum where people are constantly showing off your work. So if nothing else, you can really improve your design chops just by, sort of consuming that material and improving your design. And also Webflow sort of leads you towards well-designed websites, right? If you start with a template or something, or, they have containers, that's kind of a common thing. You have the container component where something is a certain width. So that's important. But ultimately, the thing that's really cool about Webflow with using it as a developer is the direct manipulation. That is just a huge win, no matter what your skill set is. Being able to directly manipulate something and get that instant feedback when you make changes, that's fantastic. And you can't overemphasize how important that is and how much speed gains you can get from that. You can just do it so much faster, always. And then if you feel like you want to do more, if there's things that Webflow we can't do yet, or things that maybe you have an idea or you want to scratch that programmer itch, we have custom code. You can do all the same stuff. Just do the hard, annoying things in Webflow, structure, CSS, and like the interactions. Like the interactions those are huge because that stuff is not necessarily easy to do in code, and it's not fun to do in code, right? When you're doing interactions and you can just drag a slider and it changes how something is moving and how it's looking, that's so much more rewarding than tweaking a number and having it reload or refreshing or whatever.
Yeah, that's the part, interactions, including the new 3D interactions. I mean, try coding that by hand and trying to visualize it in your head to see those 3D effects happen.
Right, exactly. As soon as you have to use rotate 3D CSS function in the transform property, you're going to go crazy. It's impossible. You're just not going to have a good time.
Well, it's not impossible. It's just that it'll be slower to do by hand.
It'll be slower, but once you look up how it works, you'll have to do trigonometry in your head to get the result that you want.
Oh my god. Well, if some people like math, developers, I know you guys are very logic oriented. So. Yeah. So, another thing that I get the sense of when it comes to talking to developers about Webflow is that sometimes they feel like Oh, there goes my job. Another tool that's gonna take away my job. And
Right.
a lot of these tools evolve to abstract most of the coding processes, right? And it's just like every other industry in the world. There's a lot of apps and tools that are making things faster and easier for everyone. I mean, take Uber for example. Um, they're they don't even have a cars. They only have an app, but yet they have the largest taxi fleet. You look at Airbnb; they don't own any hotels, and you look at Amazon. I don't think they have any retail stores, but you know what I mean. And so, how should developers keep ahead of this evolution? So, to not seem like they're losing their jobs.
Sure. I think an important thing to remember there is to go back to the misconception from earlier that programming equals coding, that it equals typing things by hand. Every developer should hope that in the future they can use kind of higher level tools to do their job, right? That they're not going to have to type everything by hand. That form of indirect manipulation is just inefficient, right? Every time you have an idea in your head, the time that it takes to get that idea into the computer, any tool that helps you do that faster is a huge win, right? Just in terms of productivity, in terms of correctness. Webflow, an important thing about Webflow is that it doesn't have bugs, right? Like the output of it, we fix it once and it's fixed for everybody,
Yeah.
right? There's no inconsistency. You can't have a class that's styled and typo the name and then have that typoed in the HTML, right? That disconnect is gone. Webflow makes sure it all stays in sync. So there's just whole classes of things, of bugs and frustration that are just removed by the tool because it's handling that for you. And then that's only going to get better, right? As time moves on, we're going to get more and more visual programming tools. So I think an important thing to remember as a developer is that programming is something you do in your head. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of problem solving. It's a way of looking at problems and kind of breaking them down into algorithms, into parts. And so if you're a video game designer, right? If you're designing video games, the first thing they do is build tooling that lets them go into the game world and change things, right? And that's something that you can still be a programmer and use that tool, and it'll save you hours and hours of work. So going forward, Webflow, tools like it are only going to get more and more powerful and are only going to consume more and more of what you can do visually. But I don't think that's something developers should be afraid of. It's something they should embrace. And also, there are all sorts of things that, we're really far away from being able to build full apps in a visual tool. So learning more and more complex tooling, learning more back-end programming stuff, more front-end stuff, frameworks, app frameworks, just really super dynamic web pages with lots of data. That's stuff you can't do in Webflow yet. But it's something you should be prepared for and, keep up with the tools, keep up with the industry standard on how to do a given thing. I think that's super important, whether that's visual or not.
All right, good tips, good tips. And I just want to mention that also, if you're a developer, you can also take advantage of the Webflow forms and connect it with a Zapier account. And if you're not familiar with Zapier, Zapier is like that middle app that can push your form data to a lot of other apps like Dropbox, Google Drive, and Evernote, Google Calendar, MailChimp, and on and on and on and on. Asana, HubSpot. I mean, it just goes on. QuickBooks Online. Wow. Okay. So yeah, it's a visual tool at first, but when you get deeper into it, I think a lot of developers can, do their jobs faster by connecting it with Zapier and adding their own, or even adding their own custom code to do it, or even export the thing and export the site and just go to town.
Yeah, I mean, if you export the site, you can do whatever you want to it. And Zapier is really cool. I think you could do some really cool integrations where, you build just a UI with Webflow and you can have those form submissions sent to Zapier and you can do all sorts of things. Like you could have it, I don't know, turn on the lights in your apartment or something.
That would be interesting. Have a form on your site. What color should my lights be tonight?
Yeah, there you go.
Submit. Blue. Whoa, Someone's on my site. Awesome. Or every time someone comes to your site, you can have some sort of like a 7-Eleven doo doo. Like someone's coming into your house. Okay, I'm being stupid. All right.
All sorts of stuff.
Before we move on, yes. Anyone have any questions in the chat room for Jeff? Here, let me type it on. If you have any questions for Jeff or want to show off what you're currently working on in Webflow, type it now. Yeah. So usually what we do is we go through some sites and just, quick critique on the sites, what you think about them, and see what our community is doing with Webflow. And then, yeah, that's about it. But while we're waiting for those questions, oh, okay, I think we got one. Jeff's comment about his first impression isn't unique. We see this all over the internet. The whole without writing code can definitely be a turnoff to developers who quickly glance at Webflow. Yes, totally agree.
Right.
Here we go. Question for Jeff. Webflow is a super powerful like Photoshop, but it seems to be marketed to users like it's Photoshop Elements. Are there any plans to market towards web developers who could seriously benefit from rich tools and time-saving visual interface Webflow offers?
That's a really good question that I don't know how to answer 100%. All I could come up with are, my own ideas. I don't know what Webflow's, official plan is there, but it's something that's hard. It's hard to market to web developers. It's hard to start a new category. It's sort of like, this is a problem that Rdio had that they talked a lot about in the music streaming industry. You have to convince this entire market of people that streaming music is something that they should be doing. You don't not only have to convince them to use your tool, you have to convince them that that tool should exist. And so that's a similar problem that Webflow has, that via marketing, it's really hard to convince web developers to kind of change their worldview on what it is that they do and how they do it. So that's just a really challenging problem. And I think it's just important to, talk to developers and help them see how much more powerful they could be, how much time they could save.
And it's just the legacy mindset of
Right.
what past tools have done to us. Front Page, Dreamweaver, WordPress, and whatnot. Everything that's happened before that's tried to be the without writing code type of app, and prove that it is, the without writing code beautiful app. And sure, there's a lot of things that Webflow can't do yet, but that's the
Right.
journey of it all. That's our adventure that we are taking as a team to try and solve. And just having a vocal community, showing us where we're going wrong and where we are doing things right, helps us a lot. And I just love the
Right.
community for doing that. So, it's tough. Next question, Jeff, do you mostly export Webflow, or do you make elements to import with embed? Okay, I think he's talking about embed component in Webflow, or do you use JavaScript?
Everything I build in Webflow, I ship on Webflow. And I use the CMS for tons of the sites that I build. And I think it's fantastic. I don't want to have to go and set up a database. I don't want to have to go and set up a web server. I don't even have any servers anymore. I used to have like half a dozen servers for various clients and things. And now there's no reason not to use Webflow. Embeds can handle 99% of anything else I would think of. And actually, we're working on a new feature called Dynamic Embeds, which lets you put embeds in dynamic lists on dynamic pages, detail pages. And that's super exciting. That's super cool. The stuff you can do with that is just crazy. I'm not actually personally working on that. You mentioned earlier. That's actually Rope.
Oh,
But yeah, he's working on that. I do some of the code review, but I'm not actively involved. I just stand in awe at the stuff you can build with it. And I'm just like, oh, this is awesome.
so here, let me since you mentioned it, here you go. Here's a little preview of it, and it's what it's what our community has been asking for a long time. I think we all been asking for it, but here you go, guys. Here's your first preview into dynamic embeds. So here's a screencast that I did that you guys will see later. But what I'm doing right here is I'm pasting in a Twitter share button. So you would make a Twitter share button right here. Oh, hold on, Jeff. You want me to share my screen so you can see what I'm doing?
Sure.
Okay, let me see here. Share. Okay, cool.
Oh.
All right. So Twitter share button, right? You just copy the code, and then on the next version of Webflow, when we ship this out, you can paste in you can drag in a embed component, and you notice how it looks kind of different. Well, you can paste the code in, and this is on a dynamic template. You can see at the top left, it's purple, so it's a dynamic template. And then right here, what I'm doing is I'm looking for the HTML attribute data URL, and I'm replacing that with, check this out, you click on that add field button, click it, come on, okay, there we go, add field button, and I put tweet URL. So that tweet URL is actually coming from my dynamic collection. So now everything becomes more dynamic in your code. I hope there's some light bulbs going off in the chat room, because this is where we're going. We're getting close to shipping this one. So I don't have a firm date on this, but it's coming really soon. And so you can do stuff like that. And even further, let me fast forward this. Let me see here. So I'm going to create a new collection and call it SoundCloud. And then it has let me fast forward. It has just a number, and it's like track ID. And so that's it. That's the only two things in my dynamic collection. And so now when I want to pull in SoundCloud type of stuff, I can just pull in, I can just type in the name of the track and then the track ID, and then it comes out super duper awesome. So right here, I know I'm fast forwarding real fast, but you guys will see this, and don't worry. Track ID right there, it's dynamic, and so there you go. Oh my god, it's gonna be so awesome. There's your little preview. So thank you, Jeff, for code reviewing this.
Yeah. That's my involvement.
Yes, I mean everything that the whole team worked on is it just blows my mind every day. And I know you're working on one thing, and I don't want to say it yet because it's super far off. But oh man, dude, we still have a lot of awesome stuff to work on, and you guys will love it. Anyone in the chat room have anything to show? What are you guys working on? Oh, here we go. Anna, one of our community experts. Here we go. Oh, she had one more question for you when it comes to Jeff. What is your opinion about PHP? It seems that only old school developers so crazy stand for that language.
Oh man, shots fired. I personally don't enjoy using PHP. Mostly these days, I write almost exclusively code that runs on the client. I work on the Webflow application. It's all JavaScript, and occasionally HTML and CSS when I'm forced to. Sadly, we cannot yet build Webflow in Webflow. Someday, that's going to be great.
How meta.
But, yeah, we're not there yet. So PHP, I think, for a developer, learning languages for the backend is a valuable tool. But whether it's PHP or JavaScript or Erlang or, I don't know, whatever other, Ruby, I don't know, Python.
Now it's going over my head. Again, remember I told you, like, people were talking about Go, Batman, and whatnot. I'm like, what? HTML? Oh, man. All right, now we're going to look at some of what you guys are making in Webflow. All right, and Jeff and I will critique it, just give our first impressions and be wowed and all that stuff. So here's our first one from Jason Gibson. All right, here we go. Scramblers and Schemers. Ooh, it's a store.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, we have a shopping cart and everything. Oh, dang. Okay, it's still being built. We got lorem ipsum up in here. Buy now button. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, Shop
Whoa.
Rocket. Okay, I don't know Shop Rocket, but now I do, and I'm gonna look into it. Huh? I wonder, Jason. Oh, medium sold out. Damn. Okay, I'll get extra large. Okay, continue shopping. The cart is up here at the
Ooh,
top right. I like this.
this is a really nice site.
Dang. Good job. Yeah, and I like the font selection, the type selection. It's, you know, it's very rugged.
This would be a good use case for the dynamic embeds with the
There it is.
CMS.
Yep. Oh yeah, dynamic embeds with e-commerce. Oh man, it's gonna be great. Let's see here. Shopping cart. Okay. Dang. Good job. Let's see the about page. All right. I like the use of animations. It's not too much, but it just gets the point across. Blog. Good job. Categories and everything. Now, what do you think, Jeff?
Looks good. I like it. I want to know if it's using the CMS. That's the part that I'm curious about.
Oh, it's most definitely. It has a blog right here.
There it is. That's crazy. Shopping, blog, CMS, fantastic.
Fantastic. Great job, Chase. He wants us to go to the store page.
All right.
All right. Where's the shop? Okay. All. What? Ooh. See, it's so clean. Ah. When I see stuff like this, it just makes me happy. You know, my whole mission is to always make the web beautiful, and then you guys are just doing it. Great job. All right, let's see here. What's Cohen working on? Sample site. I made a media wall. Let's see here. .nl. What does NL stand for? Netherlands? The top level domain NL.
Hmm.
Oh, nope, it's not working. Sorry, Cohen. Can you relink that? Not sure if that was the right one. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do we have another one? Site made totally in Webflow, but background PHP. My friend is a developer, so this is from Anna. Heroes-guide.ru. Russian. RU is Russia. Okay. Whoa, we got a bunch of stuff happening. Okay.
Ooh.
We got a bomb right here. Animated GIFs galore. Okay. My first impression is more white space would be nice. I feel like a lot of things are happening.
It's
And
pretty tight.
not because it's like a lot of text I don't understand, but like separation of content would help. But the colors are nice. Where do I go next? Ooh, I like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Haven't seen that done on a site yet. I probably have, but I don't remember. But this is good. This is good. Okay, it's a drop down. Wow, that's a lot of navs. Huh. Good job, Anna. Keep it going. Rusticwebdesign.us. All right. Okay, probably the last one. Oh, here we go. Rustic web design. Web design for the little guy. I'm little. This is for me.
Vlad.
He's not that little. Come on. Yeah. Well, you're just tall. And that's no fair. No. All right. Cool. Damn, the snow. I want to go back.
I know, good memories.
Yes. Oh, wow. Cool.
Well,
Nicely done. Nicely done. I like I like the landscape photography and the use of it. Just one thing to watch out for: the loading time. I'm not sure how big your JPEGs are, but this one, because it's a huge background, just make sure that you're keeping it under. What would you say is a good file size for an
Ooh.
image? I'm thinking
Uh,
250 KB.
yeah,
Is
that's
that?
tough. I know on our template site. I guess a site that Romero's working on. He's trying to keep all the screenshots and images under 100 kilobytes
Ooh.
to load faster. But 250 is is good. I mean, it all just depends on kind of the audience you're expecting. If you're expecting more people to take time and enjoy really look at it, there's more time for larger images.
All right. Good job. Let's see here. Who sent that one in? Good job, Nolan. 87. Thinking that's his birth date year. All right. Last one. cdl.webflow.io English home. Oh, it's your baby. Nice. The logo right here is bumping up to the slider. I would push that up a bit so the bottom of the logo doesn't bump.
Yeah.
But nice photography. And this is definitely latest news, so it's definitely dynamic. Love it. Junk food. Don't tell me it's bad. Why does it taste so good if it's bad? This is really good so far. It looks like a work in progress, so good job. Good hovers. Yeah. All right. That's about it. Yeah. Anything else do you want to say to our community before I let you go, Jeff?
uh, Nothing specific. Just that you guys are really awesome. I love reading the forum. It's always fun to release a new feature and see your guys' feedback on it. Um, but yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Keep making sites in Webflow. It's awesome to see the work that comes out of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us this week, Jeff. Yeah, if you're working on anything, just hit us up on the forums and tell people, what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. You have yourself a great day and keep pumping out that awesome code.
All right. Thanks. You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Boo. And boom. Ejected. There we go. Now it's just us. Oh no. All right. You know what happens at this time? We talk about Webflow. Well, we already been, but you guys ask questions, I answer, and let's get to it. And yeah, that dynamic embed, it's coming. Oh, get ready for it. It's going to be awesome. I mean, you can do so much with it. Just think about it. Putting in dynamic code for not only Twitter buttons and SoundCloud and whatnot, but also Shopify, ShopRocket, finally putting e-commerce into your hands, into Webflow, and oh my god, it's gonna be amazing. All right. Oh, sorry, Melanie. Let me look at your site. Let's see here. What are you working on, Melanie? Brick. Oh, I should have showed this to Jeff. Oh. Engineers build civilizations, we build engineers. Lego themed camps, parties, and events for South Bay. Where is this? I'm quickly scrolling. I want to know where it's at. Tell me. I'm joining right away. No. Where? Okay. I'm not seeing a location. You got. Oh, come on. First thing I would say about your website is tell me where. You're teasing me. Where is this? Let's see here. Battle Arena. Can I? I'm gonna register right now. But overall, the site is looking amazing. I like what you did at the top, where it kind of looks like bricks, but it's actually a dotted border. That's really clever. Your background, though, it kind of competes with your type. So you want to have some sort of contrast between your background and your foreground. And so right here, your foreground is these blue boxes, and then your background is this grid with the same type of blue. So you might want to play around with that. Maybe a white, or a gray, and it's like really pushed back. Very light on the lines. That would be awesome. But first thing first, where do I go to sign up? I mean, no, I'm not sign up, but where is this? Where do I join? I want to watch the battle arena. I want to watch bot heroes. So what is it? Star Wars tech. I want to go. Where is South Bay? Oh man. Actually, I went to a thing called what was it? First Lego League, and they had kids doing with Lego Mindstorms. They're making these robots do things automatically to complete missions, and they would get points for each mission they finished and all that stuff. And it was really inspiring to see all these kids doing all this math. And I was asking them, what do you do? Like, how do you make these robots go? And they're like, oh, you have to calculate how many times the wheel rotates so you can make a left turn or a right turn. And I'm like, what? Kids are amazing with Legos. Anyways, okay, I'm done. Whew. What questions do you have for about Webflow? Yeah. Is my feed still working? Okay, yeah. Health is still good. Okay, cool. Alright, new project I'm working on. Steven, what's up? Lego address. I'll look that up later. Yeah. Good job, Melanie. Thanks for letting me geek out. I want a bot battle. Alright, okay, I'm done. Okay, next one. Wow. Okay. I like how you tilted the type, it really makes it fun. And I like how the text boxes are crashing into each other on purpose. Makes it even more fun, makes it different, makes it stand out. Hovers, really nice. Did you create these icons yourself, Steven? If so, really good job. Okay, all right. Using angled shapes. Nice, I like it. And you're starting a blog. Awesome. Or news. Great start. I like the use of huge text, it really helps with the hierarchy. Great job. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Still a work in progress. Yeah. Share it with the forum once you're done. Okay, let's see here. Alright, RTC. Ooh, okay. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, everything looks good on the stream. Okay, cool. I like this. Nice. I like big buttons, it really shows you where to click, It's not too much in your face because there's a lot of padding in the boxes. It feels like kind of Pinterest to me. You might want to do a min height in these columns right here, because right here you have this weird long rectangle that's doing nothing. Alright. But yeah. This is really good. It's really good. I like it. Let's see here. Alright. Ooh, huge drop down. That's cool. Let's go with that one. All right, so work in progress. I like it. Let's see here. Really good job. I like it. Right here though, just a little thing. Type probably play with your colors of your font, so that way it can so that way the type hierarchy. You have your category, and then you have your actual detail information. All right. McGuire, I like big buttons and I cannot lie. You other designers, dang it, I messed up. You other designers cannot deny. There it goes. All right, here we go. Webflow, ocean and snow design. Whoa, don't spit. Sorry. Ooh. Okay, we got the 3D flip going. Good job. Good job. Okay, nice background. I like how this background fades down to the background color. That's really nice. Oh, nice grid in the back. I like it. And I like how everything's popping out in different layers. Ah, this is nice. All right. Cool. Other recent projects. Great job. Very nice. It's very soft. If I can give a feeling to it, it's soft. The colors and everything. Ah, yes, more people use the 3D stuff. It's so fun. Oh, look at this. Oh, that would be cool if this can be 3D too. William, you want to make this 3D? This would be awesome. Nice logo design. I can totally tell you're a graphic designer. Great job. Great job. Ah, so cool. McGuire says it's beautiful. Yes, it is beautiful. Okay, so it's a one pager. Testimonials? Yep, one pager. Great job. Great job. All right. Any other questions about Webflow that I can answer while we're still here? And what else? Oh, and yeah. Background videos. It's coming. You know how you have like this whole tutorial on the forums on how to make a background video full screen and whatnot, and how to put in it. Don't worry, we got you. It's coming soon. This is really nice. Let's see here. Question: why is video in a dynamic list always square size when the video doesn't come from dynamic data? It has a 16:9 ratio. Really? Hold on, let me log in. What the heck? Oh, I'm press. I get confused with Mac and PC. There we go. Let's try this out. While I'm looking this up, is there a better way users can contribute to Webflow's bug list? An example would be broken functionality, like users being able to type in the. Yes, I think, yeah, just putting up on the forums is the best way to put bugs, because we get email notifications every time someone puts something in there, and so we're listening to you guys. Don't worry. How can we better address these bug reports? Good question. Let me answer that one real quick. Help.webflow bug report. How to report a bug. Yes. Send us a bug report. The summary of the issue with your steps to reproduce. So yeah, Will, customer support hero Will, created this for you guys. And yeah, so look over that article. This will show you how to report a good bug report, put it on the forums, and see how, if anyone else has the same issue. But this is the preferred way. So that way there's no questions, no back and forth when we're trying to get all this information from you. Okay. Okay. SVG animation is any way to make them. Easy way to make them. You have to use custom code, Jacob, and I've done that with my Tesla one. Right here. Whee! So it's possible, but with custom code. Okay, let me go back to that first question. Yeah, let me research this real quick. So the question was, video in dynamic lists are always square, so I'm thinking 4:3 aspect ratio, whereas if the video is just dropped into a static page, for instance, let's drop in a video, YouTube. Ooh, yeah, let's do this. For some reason. Ooh, okay, we'll just get that. So what he's asking is, if I drag in a video to a static page, say right here, right? The video is always, no matter what, 16:9 ratio, which means like widescreen. You can see how it's wide. But let's go here and add a video to my YouTube link. Save field, save collection. So if I want to put like a YouTube video here, save project. Alright, so if we go to projects template, and let me just drag in a video. The video is going to come from YouTube link. It's still 16:9, unless I'm doing it wrong. Blackfoot Navajo. Seems to be working right. So, All right. Gonna move on to the next question. If you want to post that on the forums, exactly the steps you're talking about, that would be awesome. Then I can take it from there. Not Webflow. Where can I find a cheap vector image? Oh, there's a lot of places. You just search for cheap vector images. Where do you go for vector images?
For free?
For free or for paid?
Usually you can go to stock image account, or you can go to Vecteezy, which has free downloads.
Ah, okay. Vecteezy.
Vecteezy.
Vecteezy. There we go.
There's free ones, and then there's premium ones that you have to pay for, but you can always get the free ones. It's limited, but you get for what you know.
Okay.
Still a good resource.
All right, Vecteezy, and there's probably a bunch more out there, but good question, Bob. All right. What about export? About to export the CMS? Yeah, that's a tough one because you have to export all the dynamic data, and I'm not sure where it is on the roadmap, but we hear you guys on the forums, and we know that you want to export your dynamic data. And just a little insight into how our dynamics pages work. When you publish your site off of Webflow and you're using the dynamic collections, you're publishing a flat file. So all the dynamic stuff is happening during the render process, and then when someone loads up your site, the dynamic data doesn't load after the fact. It loads kind of like how other CMSs work on it, where you have like dynamic code or like PHP to connect to a database and bring back the data into those elements. What we're doing is we're doing that first while it's rendering, and so when your users see your site, it's actually a flat file. It's just all HTML and CSS. So loading up your site is that much quicker because all the loading stuff happens before the fact. All right, so it'll probably happen sometime soon, but I don't have a firm ETA on that one. First, Shmulik, another question says, first I would like to say that you did an amazing job with the CMS. Oh, that's the team, that is not me, but thank you. It's just brilliant. Everything's so nice, slick, and simple. Great job. But where's his butt? It can really be a game changer after the ability to export the CMS, Totally agree. Totally agree. McGuire, as you know, one of the most common responses to a user query on the forum is, can you share your read-only link? The text that appears isn't very intuitive and lacks any direct instructions. Would you consider adding a line of text that says, like, important, share your public link must be included for any post regarding your specific... Yep, we were just talking about that. The customer support team was just talking about that. And so we're trying to figure out a way to do that. I know that on Reddit, before you post to a certain subreddit, you'll see the posting rules in the text box where you would put your comments or something. You read it first before even typing in. So yeah, we're trying to figure out a way. I sounded like Homer Simpson with that. I don't know what you're talking about. Cohen's asking about importing. That's a tough one because importing a site into our very unique platform, there's a lot of things that happens behind the scenes. I'm not a developer, so I wouldn't know the first thing on what they would need to do for that, but we hear you guys on the forums on that one. And so that's a tough one because our database is unlike others. It's really unique. So that's going to be a tough one. Can you get me an idea on how to add music to a homepage of a website? Easy. Just take the embed code and use the embed widget or component. So, for example, if I go, I need to sneeze. Ugh. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. All right, so let me remove this. All right, so say you get an embed code from, let's say, SoundCloud. And my favorite band. So I'm going to take, let's say, this one. What? No. Let's just get something. Just anything. So I would click the share button, get the embed, and so right here I can copy this code, go back to Webflow, drag in an embed, paste that in there, save and close. Boom, I have SoundCloud on my site. That easy. Let's see here. Okay. I want to say that Webflow for me, at least, is starting to get really exciting new features coming out all the time. Yup, again, the CMS is October, November, December, January, February. Yeah, it's only 4 months old. The CMS is 4 months old. And there's so much you can do with it already. Ugh. Alright, very few companies give off that exciting energy vibe around new features. So we're up there with Tesla? Oh, by the way, everyone, I think, can afford this Tesla Model S. Go look it up. at that. Look at that beauty. Look at that beauty. Oh, yeah, I want it. But I'm not small enough. But I can afford it. This is real. You go to radioflyer.com. All right. How would I integrate a search box into a website? Good question. It used to be Swift type, but now a lot of people are moving towards Google custom search. So on the forums, there's a Google custom search. Where is it? I think right here. There we go. 5 days ago. Yeah, because Swift type dropped their $19 a month plan. And so, Cohen, yes, the Tesla Model S for kids is electric. Of course. For adding a Google search button, or search field, you can follow this tutorial made by Tubes. Yes. All right. Last question. Who wants to take it? And while I'm waiting for this, oh, here we go. Is it possible to edit the code HTML, CSS directly with Webflow Designer? No, you cannot. But you can add your own HTML and CSS. For example, like I was showing you with this HTML embed, you can put in your own scripts here. But as far as the other elements, you cannot. And also you can add your own custom code in the pages panel and scroll down to custom code, so you can mess around with the head tag and the end body tag on a per page basis. And there's a way to do it for the site wide. If you use, like, say, the new Google Analytics Universal code, you can put it here. But the reason for the Webflow Designer tool is to abstract a lot of the common things you would normally do as a web designer. You know, we want to make you faster and think about design more than code. So that way you can execute exactly what's on your paper or in your mind and put that straight into Webflow. Okay? But I know what you're trying to look for. And so, you know, if you're new to Webflow, try it out. And, you know, it's not the tool for everyone, okay? There's a lot of people who prefer this and that and stuff that we don't have yet, and I totally understand. And we're working our way towards there. But, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. To everyone in the chat room, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope to see you next week, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Love you guys so much. Love you guys, the community. You guys are awesome. I will see you on the forums. Go to the forums if you haven't yet. forum.webflow.com. Lots of awesome, helpful, and happy people there. Lots of, again, awesome people. Thank you guys. If you need any help with your account and anything billing, you see a bug, some sort of technical issue, email me directly, support@webflow.com. We'll get on it as fast as we can, usually within an hour or two, you know? What else? Oh yeah, follow us on Twitter @WebflowApp or on Facebook/Webflow. You can follow me if you want to, tweet me up. All I'm going to be talking about is Tesla, Legos, and whatnot. But @ThePixelGeek is my Twitter handle. Anything else, just ask on the forums. So thank you guys so much. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.